Good evening, everyone. This is Debbie Henderson from Debbie's Designs. Welcome to my first Sunday share video for 2020. I'm going to give it a few seconds for everyone to find me and join me tonight. I can see you guys all coming on. Welcome. So I've changed my schedule a little bit. I'm going to actually be live on Sundays now. It's a lot easier for me, especially traveling for Dave's cancer treatments during the week. I had to end up canceling a lot of my lives. So I think Sunday I'm safe. So tonight I'm going to be showing you a card that I'm creating using some new products in the mini catalog. And we also have the celebration, which started on January 3rd. So both catalogs are active now. And I want to show you the page. I'm using masculine. I'm going to create a masculine card tonight. I know a lot of you guys like it when I create masculine cards because you have a hard time with those. But look at all the samples we have in the catalog that you can draw inspiration from. And then if you look on the front where they started doing the bundles, like a quick glance, there's another one here that you could use. So there's lots of ideas in here to get you started. Hello everyone, I'm so glad you're here. So let's take a look at the first page. We've got the designer paper, we've got the stamp set with dies, the Absolutely Argyle embossing folder, which I'm not using tonight. We have some twine, we have some country club elements, and then on the next page, more samples to go by and a close-up of the stamp set. So let me show you what I'm going to be using tonight. And I also want to let you know at the end of my video tonight, I have 5 door prizes that I was giving away for all my December orders. So stay tuned at the end. Anyone that placed orders in December, your name went into my drawing. I'm going to do those tonight. So here's the stamp set called Clubhouse. The dies, the golf club dies. You know what I really like? There's a little golf ball in there and it has a lot of detail to it. I haven't used that yet, but you can see all of the dies. Let me show you the designer paper. I love the designer paper. You can see here we've got a lot of different patterns, and there's the Argyle to go with the embossing folder. So I'm going to be using a couple of these patterns tonight. I'm also using our country club elements. Now these are just little wooden elements. I'm not going to open this one because it's actually a gift. But these are wooden, and I'm actually using the banner tonight, and you just push them and they pop right out, and they're quite thick to use too. But you can see there's all of the golf elements, the golf tees, the balls, the little clubs, the flags. So you've got a little border element right there, and then you can see the ones I have here in the front. So let me show you where my inspiration came from tonight for the card that I'm creating. I actually have a downline that's on my team that sent me a Christmas card that I fell in love with. Her name is Ann Porter. She's been on my team for a few years now. And this is the card she sent me for Christmas. Under this little layer right here, there's a little piece of Velcro and it opens up. So that's the card I'm going to show you how to create tonight. But instead of doing a Christmas card, we're going to do a masculine card. Now let me show you the one that I created, and I'm actually using different designer paper for the one I'm going to show you that I'm going to stamp with you tonight. Let me just bring all of the supplies in. So this is the one I created using all of the new supplies, and again there's a little Velcro dot underneath. This opens up, whoops, and then we have our little golfer on the inside. And I positioned him so that he would be hidden behind this panel here. So I'm actually going to make a monochromatic card tonight. I wanted to use a different pattern for the designer paper. So let me dig all of my layers out. And for inks, I'm using Balmy Blue, Garden Green, Basic Gray, and Real Red, just to offset the gray theme that we have going on. I'm also going to be using the Champagne Rhinestone Basic Jewels. So let me go ahead. Oh, and you need Velcro. Don't forget the Velcro. So let me give you the measurements for all the layers. This is basic gray, 5.5 by 4.25. Whisper white, 5.25 by 4. 2 pieces of designer paper. These measure 4 by 3, so you need 2 of those. And you could use different patterns if you didn't want them to be the same too. These are the 2 layers for the front. Basic gray, 3.5 by 2.5. Whisper white, 3.25 by 2.25. And then we need a piece of white for stamping. So let's go ahead and get started. Now what I did so that I wouldn't mess up, I brought in a ruler and a pen. This is 4 inches across. I'm just going to make a little tick mark at 2. This is not the side I'm using, so I can go ahead and mark that one up because it won't show. Okay, so I've gone ahead and marked both designer papers. Now what I'm going to do is use this. I'm going to fold a triangle. Make sure it's nice and straight down here. So you're just kind of eyeballing. You're going to do the same thing with the other side. And then you're going to glue those down. Okay, so there's my first one, and then that's what it's going to look like. Let's do the second one. Again, make sure it's nice and straight right here. Okay, I need to move this one over just a tad. And again, we're going to glue these down. Now what I'm going to do is actually bring in my scoring tool. And you can see here that I have a black permanent line with a permanent marker. I'm going to line this up using the line. And the edge of my designer paper is going to be right above that. So there's one line. I'm going to do the same thing with the second piece. This is going to fold over, so you want to make sure you leave yourself some folding room. Now we're going to bring in the Whisper White piece. I'm going to add some snail on both of these. And then I'm going to line this up right on the score line. And then that folds over. Look how easy that was. Now I do have just a little bit sticking out right here that I don't like, so I'm going to cut that off. Now we're going to do the same thing on the opposite side. And you don't want to glue these down because they have to move, they have to open. Now we're going to take the little piece of basic gray. We're only going to glue at the top, so I'm going to add some liquid glue. You guys will believe how easy this card is. Now what I'm looking at here is I'm looking at each corner. I want to make sure they're about the same on each side. I'm just going to press down on this, and then I'm going to bring in my Velcro. And what I'm going to do is add a Velcro dot right in the corner of the bottom piece. Add this one on top so they're hooked together. And then I'm just going to press down. So now your piece is all glued in place. So you can go ahead and open it with the Velcro opening. Now let's go ahead and glue this to the card base. I'm just going to trim one more little side here. Because there's a lot of movement to this card, I'm going to add quite a bit of snail just so that this doesn't come off. So because we're mostly using grays on this card, this is considered a monochromatic card. Now I'm going to bring in the Balmy Blue ink. I'm going to leave the lid open because I want to use the ink in the Inkwell in the lid. I should say I made an inkwell with the lid. I'm going to add a lot of water. And then I'm just quickly going to do this. We're going to let that dry. And while that dries, we're going to do some stamping. I am going to have to use the Big Shot just once tonight. I'm going to go ahead and stamp the golf ball. And I'm quickly going to grab a blender pen and just add a little bit of gray with the ink lines. Very subtle. You can see that it makes it look dirty. You don't want a clean golf ball. Nobody has a clean golf ball. Next, we're going to do garden green. And you can see here where it's very light. That's all I'm going to pick up is just a little bit of the garden green. I'm going to color the grass. And I'll bring that up so you guys can see it. Okay, there's the green. Now, what I decided, because there's so much gray going on, I'm actually going to add one accent color just to make things pop. So on the background, I'm going to use the red rhinestone jewel. So I'm also going to bring in the real red ink. And I'm going to add just a little bit of red to the T. And you're going to see how that pops against, oh, I still need this. I need to leave it out. Because it's all one color, it's good to add an accent color. Now here comes the banner. I'm actually going to bring something dark so I can see where I'm stamping. And this happy birthday just barely fits on here. The good thing though, you got two sides to your piece of wood. So if you mess up once, you can flip it over. Now let's see, I'm going to use this side. Let's see how good I can do this. Good, that's perfect. I have one of my local girls that does this. Every time she stamps and everything's perfect, she gets so excited. She'll know I'm talking about her too. Okay, let me bring in the Big Shot just so we can cut out the golf ball. And I need to get my die out. So you can see we're going to cut the whole thing out. I mentioned my local customer only because she's usually watching, so she'll know I'm talking about her. Okay, let's position this. I hope it's perfect. I'm going to try to do it without washi tape. Let's see how good I did. There we go. That's perfect again. Okay, now we're ready to glue this in place. It's nice and dry. I'm going to use Stamping Dimensionals. And because it's a little warped, I'm going to use quite a few dimensionals so I can flatten it out. I hope I don't forget to stamp the inside of my card because I never do the inside when I'm stamping with you guys. Okay. That goes right there. And we're going to add dimensionals to the golf ball. Let's see, I'm going to add some mini ones to the bottom portion. And let's see. First, I want to glue my banner in place. I'm going to use liquid glue. I like anything with golf because my dad used to be a golfer. He's no longer with us, but he loved golfing. And it was so sad that he retired, and he did get to enjoy it for a few years. And then he had COPD, so he had to give it up. It was so sad when he couldn't golf. So I think about him every time I see a golf-related stamp set. Now this is going to sit right on the banner. And then we're going to add some red, real red rhinestones. So you'll see how that really coordinates well with the gray. Okay, so there's our front. Now, let me get the gray back out. I'm going to turn my card sideways because I want to stamp our little golfer on the inside. And I want to do it about 3/4 of an inch in so that it won't show on the outside. Isn't he nice? I love the detail on him, and I could color him too. I might do that later. But there's the inside. We're going to close that up, and I'm going to bring the other one back in. So nice little fancy fold card, very easy to do. Let me bring all of the supplies that I used back in. Let's see if I can stick the designer paper out here too. So there you go, everyone. I hope you enjoyed my masculine card with a fancy fold. And thanks to Anne for giving me the inspiration for this card. And I will see you guys again next Sunday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern time. I think I have a technique lined up. So thanks for joining me tonight. See you next week.